Today we're working on Minuet in D from Suzuki Book 3. Welcome back. Welcome to the studio. My name is Cassie and I'm a professional violist and teaching artist. So before we get into our slow and our fast playthroughs, I thought we'd walk through a few things that might be new for you on this piece. In the very first measure, there's some articulations that you may not have seen before. So over the third and fourth note, you see that there's a line, and then the very last note of that measure, there's an accent, which kind of looks like a sideways V. So if those articulations were not present, I would play it like this. But with the articulations, so the tenuto mark, or the line, tells me that I want to hold the note for the full value, but I still want a little bit of space in between, so it's not legato or smooth. And then the accent note, there's a couple different ways you can produce an accent, but we're going to do it with bow speed. So I'm going to speed up my bow on that note so it produces a louder or percussive sound. The same articulation can be seen in the second measure, so watch out for those when they occur in this piece. The next new articulation is in measure 6. You'll see there's a tenuto line and there's a staccato dot over the tenuto. That's a lot of information. So the tenuto tells us we're going to hold the note for full value, but the staccato also tells us short. So I kind of almost ignore the tenuto mark there and I just have a fast bow with some space in between each note. So again, without those articulations, measure 6 sounds. But with the articulations, so again, I achieved that by a faster bow, and I'm stopping my bow on the string in between each note. You'll see that articulation crop up a few times in this piece, so when it happens, just remember, fast bow speed, stop on the string. This minuet is also quite traditional, so we start out with the minuet portion of it, and then halfway through the page you'll see there's a trio section, and usually minuets come as a minuet and trio. And the trio is oftentimes performed just a little bit slower than the minuet. So there's a few things in the trio I want to go over. First off, there's a key change. So we started the piece with 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp, and in the trio section we have only 1 sharp, F sharp. So we started in D major and we've transitioned into G major in the trio. Also in the trio there's a bunch of string crossings underneath the slur. So I want to just practice that first measure of the trio. So let's go to playing position. And we're going to practice that with stop bows. So I'll play my first note, stop my bow, get my next note set, etc. Try that one more time. Play your open G, stop your bow, set your 2, open D, 3rd finger. Once that feels comfortable, we can take those stops out one at a time. So I'll slur 2 notes, stop, stop. Now I'll slur 3 notes. Now I'll do all 4. Some common mistakes might be that you run out of bow, so if that happens, just make sure that the amount of bow you're giving to each note is a little bit less. We want to kind of portion this out, so if I look at that slur and I count how many notes are actually in the slur, I want to divide up my bow evenly. So if I use too much on the first note, I've run out before I get to the last note. So this particular slur has 4 notes slurred, so I just want to imagine that the middle of my bow, I've performed 2 of those notes. The second measure of the trio also has something that's new for us, which is a double stop. So you can see that there's 2 notes printed one on top of each other, and that means that they need to sound at the same time. So just like some of you may be tuning with double stops, or 2 notes at the same time, that's all it is just the A string and the D string sounding together. So we're going to play the first 2 measures of the trio under tempo. 1 and 2 and 3, go. Now freeze, make sure that your bow elbow has dropped so that you're on both strings, both the D and the A string. Sometimes your elbow will be a little bit too high, so you'll only hit the D string. It may be a little bit too low, so you only hit the A string. So we want to find that in-between spot where it's touching both strings. Let's try that again. 1 and 2 and 3, go. Oftentimes people think that they have to push extra hard because 2 strings are sounding at once, and that's not the case. We're just distributing the same amount of arm weight onto 2 strings. So you shouldn't feel like you have to change anything or push harder to make those notes sound. The next section I want to look at is measure 29. We've got some broken thirds here, which is very traditional for Mozart's writing. So another way that we could practice that is using the stop technique that we used for the beginning of the trio. We're going to just apply the same technique here. So in measure 29, I'm going to start with my second finger, then my high 3 for C sharp, stop my bow, set my 1, shift backwards for D sharp, stop my bow, and then set my high 2, 1, 3, 2, 4. Let's try that again. We're always stopping in between the notes. 2. And again, once that feels comfortable, you can take the stops out one by one. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the form. So I know this looks like it's a short piece, but all of the repeats kind of elongate it. So the first time that we play it through, we're going to observe or take all of those repeats. The second time, when we get to the end of the trio and we have to do the repeat or the da capo, the DC, we don't do any of the repeats. And that's traditional. Anytime you have a minuet and trio, the repeats count the first time when you do it all the way through, but the second time when you're back at the DC, you don't do any of the repeats. Now we're ready for our slow playthrough, so let's go to playing position, and I'll count to 3 twice before we begin. Tap your 4th finger on the D string, just make sure that it's set and it matches your open A string, and double check your bow hold, curvy thumb, curvy pinky. 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. Now we're ready for our fast playthrough, and just a reminder that the faster we go, the smaller bow we want to use. So the eighth notes will get less bow than they did on the slow playthrough. Let's go to playing position, check your bow hold, curvy thumb, curvy pinky, and I'll count to 3 twice. 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you found this video useful. If you have any questions or comments, please post those below because I really enjoy reading them. Happy practicing!